In this episode of Chopping It Up, we are talking to legendary music marketing guru Abebe Lewis from the world-renowned recording studio Circle House, where we dive into the iconic artists that have passed through those doors, how to brand yourself as an artist, and the things it takes to make it in the music industry. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. But right now, we have a very, very, very special guest joining us live, man. We have Abebe Lewis, man, the CEO of Circle House Studios, which is the most iconic recording studio in South Florida. Has helped launch the careers of many, many artists, from Trina to Trick Daddy, Pitbull, Flow Rider, and owner of Abebe Lewis Marketing and Branding Group, the one, the only Abebe Lewis, man. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight, man. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. I want to give you a nice big round of applause, man. My personal applause, not the computer applause, but the personal one, man. Thank you for joining us, man.
Definitely. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
For sure. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. And shout out to Hugo Diaz, man, for hooking everything up. That's the day one homie right there. Him and his brother Louis. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I just want to also give a big shout out to you for, giving songwriters and artists such a great platform. You know what I'm saying? You taking your time out just to do this for them, to give them opinions on records. And definitely it's something that's needed more in the industry, man.
And I appreciate you saying that, man. And it's the truth. I mean, that coming from you means a lot to me, me personally, man. I know, listen, you if those walls could talk in that studio, they would have a lot to say. I want, if you can, bro, tell me how. I know, you're the son of legendary, reggae musicians from the pioneer reggae group of Inner Circle. Growing up in that environment, I'm assuming that's how you fell in love with music. How was that experience like when you first got around this industry?
It was a lovely thing because the way it was introduced, you know what I'm saying? So I saw it in many different angles, you know what I'm saying? And definitely saw from the business angles, because my dad always, like, on top of being a musician and a songwriter, he always owned a studio, you know what I'm saying? So I saw how that component was such a big thing, because through that, early in his career, when I was a kid, that's how I met Two Live Crew and all those guys used to come to his studio, and all the booty bass stuff used to come to the studio, where he used to mix and do all that stuff. And being like Caribbean, that's why I always call Miami like that melting pot. It was just such that learning curve. I used to be in the front, like answering the phone, just watching, and like you seen all these people that you so-called see, or you hear about, because it was like, was no BET back then and all that stuff like that. Was more so, the magazines and the stories and the actual club appearances and things like that, of that nature. But I got introduced through the business angle of everything, and it was just a wonderful experience for me.
That right there, obviously you at such a young age, you learned a lot. So I think that you progressed a lot quicker than the average person within the music industry. And it helped you because you realized, workings of things like the business aspect of it as well. Your knowledge of music, more so than anything, your marketing aspect of things is what really, I think, stands you apart from a lot of other people that, that run recording studios and things of that nature. I think you probably built a network of phenomenal people to work with to build and help artists market themselves. So what do you have going on as far as marketing? Because I know that, from your posts, it seems like you help a lot of independent artists as well.
Yeah, we do a lot of consulting here, when you come by the studio, and we give them a lot of guidance, show them a lot about publishing, show them a lot about monetizing. And, because luckily, being a student of the game, I've been in the game for so long. I've been here since MySpace, you know what I'm saying? So from MySpace, growing into Facebook, growing into Twitter, growing into all these different components. It's like, I remember back in the days, we had selecto hits where you had to actually mix and master your record, and you had to get your CDs pressed up, you had to get your vinyl. So it's a lot quicker game happening right now. But still, on top of that, I just consult them from that aspect, you know what I'm saying, of that side of the business, where it's still, I think I got a lead in the game because I grew up around that time, you know what I'm saying, in that era. But a lot of the independent artists, we help them in Miami get their stuff together, man. Like early in the years, it was KHALID, Rick Ross tells his story, Lil Wayne tells their story, how,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying, they came here and, you know, got their stuff organized, and just seeing it from a different perspective of business, you know what I'm saying, and seeing how Inner Circle took their profits and investments and put it back into the music, back into the studio, into the sound quality
Right.
that makes songs last forever, like songs that have like Bad Boys and Girl, I'm Gonna Make You Sweat, and those songs are 20, 30 years old, but it's like, man, those songs are still viable. wendy's
Absolutely.
Wendy's used Bad Boys the other day in a Wendy's commercial. Bad Boys, Bad Boys. And it's just, you know, Bad Boys for the movie is coming up, so it's like, I just see how music can last, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying, throughout the years if you do it properly. You know what I'm saying? Like Bob Marley's music to this day sounds like up to date, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you're absolutely
Because of
right.
the sound quality of those things. Even with the old school hip hop that's still touring. I went to the Nas and Wu-Tang concert the other day, and I was like, yo, it was packed. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Sold out venues. These guys are touring all over the place. So it's about the sound quality. It's about what you put on the, you know, the lyrics and everything. So what you do by helping them with this whole thing that you do with the beats and the songwriting and the whole song concept is very needed. If they're, you know, we want longevity in this business, you know?
Absolutely, and I think that is probably it is such a valuable thing of advice, because the first thing a lot of people, if you get in advance, like a lot of times people spend money on a car, instead
Mm-hmm.
of reinvesting into the craft. And you know, I always looked at it from that perspective of business, but you kind of shed some light on it. Is reinvesting it in the sound. I mean, that's
Yeah.
really what you need to do, and polishing
Yeah.
it up so that it does have that longevity. It does become a classic. It does have that feel.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think would be some of the elements that you think like an up and coming artist needs to have in order for them to be successful? Like, what are those certain things that indie artist needs? Those certain elements.
Well, some of the things I was talking about is create yourself a sound. Like
Mm-hmm.
the majority of the Dynasty record labels, they had a Dynasty producer. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They had Swiss Beats was Rough Riders. He created a sound. Manny Fresh was Cash Money. He created a sound. So if you need to like find a direction, get with a producer, bro. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
and create your sound so people know, like, hey man, that's yeah, when I hear that, that's, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you create that fan base and you create like that originality with a mix of new and old, because you know everybody samples and things like that, but still just create that sound for yourself to 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 have the fans just wanting to hear your song. It's not
Right.
like a one song thing. They want to hear your whole composition. Like, I want to hear
Absolutely.
all his songs, you know what I'm saying, or her songs, you know?
It's very similar to almost like social marketing almost. I mean, in a lot of ways
Yeah.
that's what it is having a
Mm-hmm.
brand. Like, that's really what it is. Like you said, it's just branding yourself. And I think that, you know, a lot of people, when you study it, you know, and that obviously you have, you know, you study it, and that's the truth. It really is. Find that sound. Um
100%.
the so Circle House, man. Circle House is an iconic, legendary studio. Um You've seen so many artists walk through those doors. What would you
Definitely.
say would be the most memorable moment that you had within those walls?
It's been so many, but just like it's hard to put it in a different thing, but just watching development of artists, you know what I'm saying? Watching
Mm-hmm.
The Weeknd walk in as like a dope artist, but then nobody knows him, and now he's Gynamsuous.
Yeah.
Watching the Wayne and the Cash Money guys, just legendary. It was like a rocky road for them, but now
Mm.
look at it. It's like it's crazy through Spotify. Like the who don't play Back That Ass Up every day? Like, you know what I'm saying? Who don't
Yeah.
play certain records like every
Mm,
day? And you're not noticing it when
mm.
you're a part of it or there. You notice like it like a lot later, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like the Cash Money era was wonderful because you know, it was wonderful for Miami, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
because they all still live here to an extent. And you know, it was just a lot of different times, man. I can't say one particular time. You know, the Trick Daddy and Trina, when they were on fire, just that time right there was like insane. You know, we created a lot of different people. Like me and Hugo, a lot of people don't know that we produced a lot of the stuff on Trick Daddy's first album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we was some kids didn't even know about the music industry and just really was just doing our thing. You know what I'm saying? How we met his brother and then his brother met Pitt. It's like it's so many. Man, it's so many moments, man, that I can't even it's just too many, you know.
You know, and it's a beautiful thing, man. Big shout out Hugo, man. That's my brother right there, man. You know, he really is a talented person. He has an eye for talent as well, and he pays a lot of homage to you, man. He speaks of you highly, and it's for good
That's
reason.
my guy, man. That's my guy.
Man. He's a good guy, man, and his blessings to network and see people become fruitful within the music industry. And you see that grind, you see that hustle that everybody goes through. For the people that are kind of struggling, they're in that grind right now, is there any word of advice that you would give them?
I would say monetize on every angle. Okay. Like try to get your Twitch going, of course, and all that stuff. I know it's easier said than done, you know what I'm saying? But get your t-shirt game, get your merch game up, get your influencer game up, you know, go visit some ice cream parlors and do some recaps, get some t-shirts, do some different things with the industry because you don't know what's your way in. I always say this, man. When I met Kanye West, he was a producer. He became the best producer in the game, and it gave him so much leverage to go do everything else. You know what I'm saying? So you got to find your way of getting leverage, and you have to try 50,000 different things, man. Yeah. You know, like they said, this game is not for the swift; it's for who can endure this game. You know. You'll be so surprised. Maybe your thing is selling merch and you don't even know. And your music is tied into selling your merch and your hoodies and your t-shirts, it's so many different ways to monetize, but see what the audience wants from you. Because you always think, oh man, I know what the audience wants, or I know they like that song. See what the audience likes from you. They like you to be an influencer. They like you to be a model. They like you to be a this, but figure it out and then reverse back once you get through the door and try to achieve that other thing. You know what I'm saying? Then reverse back again. And by the time you look, you got 5-6 things going on. Like, you know, Travis Scott, I see his partnership with Nike. He's touring. He's like got his Cactus Jack thing. It's like he's doing 10 different things. You know what I'm saying?
You know, that's how, I mean, Rick Ross is a good example of that too.
I mean, excellent example.
Ross is just killing shit right now, man. Like he diverse, and that's coming from Miami too. And I'm from Miami myself, bro. Like, listen, people from Miami just have that grind, man. That's just it is what it is. It's built in you, and I think the music industry, especially in Miami, has come from that. You've seen the evolution of the Miami music scene
100%.
For a very long time. Where do you see the music scene right now in Miami in comparison to where it was like 15, 20 years ago?
Well, 15, 20 years ago was like more like a bass, booty bass, hip hop vibe. And now it's transitioning into more international music because we have more international things happening, like soccer with Messi and the F1 race. You know what I'm saying? Here comes the Super Bowl again. You know what I'm saying? So we can't, as a Miami as a whole, we can't stand and be localized because Miami's becoming that place where it's like that New York, that LA, that epicenter. You know what I'm saying? Right. And when it comes to that, you got to understand, hey, there's all different type of cultures coming here. So how can I capitalize on all these different cultures coming here, man? As a urban rapper, I do a Latin remix. You know what I'm saying? I do a song about soccer. I do a song about football. I do a song about sports where it can tie in and be relevant to what's happening. They even trying to bring back Miami Highlight, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I heard about
like
that.
Like Udonis Haslam and Pitt and all of them are getting into the highlight. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to figure out and see what's going on and put yourself there as a somewhat of a trendsetter. And with Miami, it's such a beautiful thing because we have so many cultures, man. It's like in one plaza to be a Chinese restaurant, a Japanese, a Jamaican, a Cuban, an Argentinian steakhouse. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and you walking into each one and it's authentic, real people.
Like real shit,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, like
real
no
shit,
fake, no fake person. It's like a real Cuban lady and then she got the beans and rice going. She talking to you in Spanish and she trying to understand you. You got to catch up with the culture. If you don't catch up with the culture, you're going to fall behind, man. You're going to totally fall behind.
Absolutely. That's why, that's why I think Miami's the epicenter of that too, is because of that. And I think, there is somewhat of, not a transition, but there's a lot of the influence happening now. Like a lot of mainstream American artists are doing Latin records. You know what I mean? Like Bad Bunny's, doing his thing and is kind of meshing like that. And I think that it's a sense of a wave, to say the least. And I think that Miami is a perfect place to have that really pop off once again. You know what I mean? And Miami is just one of those epicenters of music that kind of a lot of people kind of overlook it. I think, you know what I mean? A lot of people recognize it, but I think worldwide, people don't realize the amount of talent that comes out of Miami. And you're a perfect example of that. I mean, you've seen all of them. You know what I mean? From Flow Rider too, man. Flow Rider did his damn thing, man. Pitt, I mean, Pitt has been killing shit for the longest time now.
Yep. And all those guys,
you helped put that together.
And all those guys are so dope outside of music. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Flo's doing huge real estate deals. Pitt's doing he got like 20 different businesses, 20 different, he owns stuff in the Dominican Republic. And like, he's just everywhere. And that's the greatest thing, is these guys are businessmen, and Miami is such a great place. If you got an idea, you can bring it to life in Miami if you know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. If you sit down and really strategize your idea and you meet with some people, will take the meetings. They will listen to what you got to say, see what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Rick Ross got 10 different liquor brands. You think he's not looking for people to work with him? You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. You think he's not looking for that young hustler? You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
It's true. And it's finding that outlet, and that's a phenomenal word of advice. You're the business side of things. I've always, had a thought process behind the business. You got to make a lot of mistakes in order for you to learn. Like any other business, it doesn't matter whether you start a business mowing lawns or a real estate business. You got to make those mistakes. Is there any one mistake that you made that you can give advice about for somebody that may be in the same position or wanting to be in the same position as you, that they could learn from that, like a certain mistake that you learned from?
Don't be so anxious. You know what I'm saying? Don't be so anxious to put your name down as a producer without getting your business side stuff together. You know what I'm saying? Or an executive producer. Or I've had so many opportunities where I did well, but I could have been in way better positions if I understood the business of BMI, ASCAP, and publishing. You know what I'm saying? So learn the business. Listen to shows like this guy's show right here. Go to YouTube University and understand publishing, understand masters, because those are the things is going to be the music business pension. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
There's no pension in the music business. If you're a police officer or if you're a certain job, you get a pension. You know what I'm saying? Your pension is your masters. Your pension is your publishing. You know what I'm saying? So that is one angle where I'm gonna give you guys some advice. Learn that. You know what I'm saying? And if I would learn that sooner and quicker, trust me, like, you know what I'm saying?
It would have been a different story, yeah. And that's
totally different story. Totally different.
And that's the thing too, man. You're speaking with with a lot of wisdom behind what you're saying. And I think a lot of people are grateful that you're speaking on this, because not too many people do, man. Not too many people speak that. Yeah. You have, so from what I understand, you were like a standout basketball prospect from American High, right?
Definitely.
So
go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask you something. I gotta ask this question. Do you think it correlates, the sports industry correlates with the business side of music in any way?
1,000%, because that sports, it puts that hunger in you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like practice would be from like 5 to 7, right? Like staying that extra hour to shoot around, or trying to watch like tapes or watch the next team you're playing, or strategy. Because when you're playing basketball, you're playing football, basketball, you're coming up this court with the ball. Like, you call on a play, but you may see something different. It may be another opportunity right there. So it's like, it's all in the mind. And it's the same thing with music. You know what I'm saying? Right. You may like, damn, if I put this Spanish guy and a French guy on this record, now I can promote it in France, and I can promote it in the Latin American countries. Man, like, let me do that play. Let me, and on top of that, in the video, let me put a French type of food. Let me put some other type of arepas, or like, you know what I'm saying? Let me try to show them that it was all about the culture. It's almost like when Rick Ross had Hustling in the beginning of the video, he's playing the Spanish music, and he says the land of the this, and then you got the Spanish guy, which is my boy Johnny Boy, who actually went to American with me too. He's counting the money, and right away that correlated with Miami. Right away,
Absolutely.
Rick Ross had every Chico in Miami like, Rick Ross!
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's
like,
true. It's true. But it was genius. It was genius,
it was
bro.
genius. It was definitely genius, you know?
Do you think this is a question that I think that you would answer it very well. Do you think, like, 'cause right now everything's social media based, right? So everything's quick, under a minute, quick reels and things of that nature. Do you think the music video is dead, or do you think people should invest for a music video, or do you think they should just focus and save that money and just make a bunch of little 40-second reels?
Yeah, short form content all the way. You know what I'm saying? The music video is not dead, but it's just for the people with the bigger fan bases. You know what I'm saying? Like Shakira can do a full music video, and because there's certain places that I heard in Latin America that still sell CDs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's certain places like that still like do the CD signing. You can still move 50 to 100,000 CDs at $15 in those markets. But short form content as a new artist will get you a longer way than a long form content. My personal opinion.
Absolutely. I always wonder that because, a lot of people ask me that question too. They're like, oh, should I invest in, a full length music video that costs like $3-4 grand or 10 grand, whatever the case may be, or just do the short form content? And I think you're absolutely right. I think it makes more sense doing it that way.
And then a lot of guys get successful doing the cheaper videos because the people can correlate with you, especially the urban rap. Like they can vibe with you. They feel like you a part of them. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you do your video, it looks like, oh, everybody go to the bodega, but everybody does go to the bodega. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is kind of like on the corner a little bit. So people can like vacillate to you with that short form content that's around the way, that they can feel like, oh man, this is me right here. I can feel that dude. You know what I'm saying?
Your sense of networking has put you in a lot of rooms that that a lot of people want to get in. How important is the networking aspect of things within the like an up and coming musician or a beat maker?
Networking is huge. Internships are huge. You know what I'm saying? So through internships, from one example, you can get to know so many different people. You know what I'm saying? Like I watched a story the other day where this guy, 50 Cent was his intern. You know what I'm saying? Now he owns a private jet company. 50 finds out that that's the private jet guy that I was interning for. And 50 says, hey, I only ride his jets. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm telling you, take the extra steps to get to know people. If you want to get to know what they know, figure them out, figure the things they like. You know what I'm saying? Hugo knows that. When we used to work in the studio, we find somebody that we know what they like. Okay, he likes Coca-Colas. I'm gonna make sure I get a 6-pack every time he wants to work in the studio so I can get to know him. So as he pops that Coke in, he's like, hey, sit down. Then he starts teaching you. Then he starts you become like a student of the game, but take that extra step. And networking is so much the key, and internship is the key. And just figure it out, man. Don't act like you got an ego and act like you know when you don't know. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know, get to know a little bit of YouTube University, but it's nothing like sitting down with that person that has that knowledge, that been through that situation, who went through the bad pub deal or went through the bad this or him and the artist got beef now because of this, so he can show you how to now handle this situation a lot differently. You know what I'm saying? And then you can put that into perspective, and it comes with networking in your circle and just understanding worth of knowledge. Because to me, knowledge is power and access is power, and you get all that through internship and networking. You know what I'm saying? I got people that pick up the phone right now and be like, yo, this kid's about to blow up. This kid's about to do this. I'm calling like label guys, but these are guys that started with me that was young. You know what I'm saying? And I got to know them. I got to grow with them. So it's like that access, you know what I'm saying, keeps you in the room, and you know what I'm saying, and your knowledge and it just keeps you there. And you just got to somebody comes into town, be like, yo, B, I'm in town. Where you at, man? Hey man, let's go to lunch. You know what I'm saying? That little lunch meeting was nothing for you, but it goes such a long way for them. You know what I'm saying? Or yo, where you partying tonight? Yo, don't go there. go here. Yo, B, I had the time of my life last night. What you need, man? You need anything, my brother? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you got to keep those connections going, you know?
Absolutely, and keep it the longevity and build it
Definitely.
organically and build it real. You know, like, ironically, the reason why we're doing this interview is because of Hugo, and I was Hugo's intern. I interned for Hugo like 12 years ago.
There
So
you go.
I trust me, I understand it 1,000%, and it's true. It really is that, you know. And you build a friendship more so than anything else. It's kind of aside from everything else. You just build a relationship with that individual in essence, and I think that's the most important thing. I think you're absolutely right.
Important relationships and access to this business. I'm not saying you got to kiss everybody's behind, but like, listen, just understand where you're at, understand where you're trying to go, and think about the things you got to do to get to that point. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. So I know you're a Miami sports fan. So if you had one ticket to choose from, Game 7 of a Miami Heat NBA Finals or the Dolphins in the Super Bowl, which one you going to?
The Dolphins, man. The Dolphins. I love my Miami Heat, but that football is just, it turns up, man. It's a bigger business right now. You know what I'm saying? It's a big business, man. And, you know, we just love the Miami Dolphins. Dan Marino and Don Shula, they just set that precedence. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
The Dolphins, where that is just, yo, if you ever get a chance, man, go online, guys, and check out all the tailgating that happened at the Dolphin games.
Oh my God.
People don't even go into the games. Some of these tailgaters, the tailgating is like, it's
that's
ridiculous,
the part right
dog.
It's crazy.
It's ridiculous. People got whole pigs out there, bro.
Yeah.
Like everything, drinks, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like a 50 parties going on outside of the stadium. They have TVs.
The TVs in the bed of the truck,
Are you going to the game? No, I'm sitting right here and watch the whole game in the parking lot. I'm like, you in the parking lot of the stadium and you're not going in the game?
Yeah.
You know,
and they have tickets to the game too, and they said, "Fuck it, the party's out here."
It's just that culture, and it's like I think the Dolphins, they got the Tampa Bay, they got the Jacksonville Jaguars, but Miami Dolphins is Florida's team, man. They're Florida's team.
Absolutely, man.
You know?
Well, BB, man, I want to tell you, man, I truly appreciate you, bro. I know you're busy, man. I don't want to take too much of your time, man, but I'm very honored to have you on the show. Thank you for dropping all those gems, all that knowledge. I think that in itself, it's worth everything, man. So again, I appreciate you, man. I've looked up to everything that Circle House has done for a very long time growing up in Miami. So there's nothing but respect on my end for you, bro. And I truly appreciate you, man. I really do. Thank you for tuning in and also joining the show.
Definitely. And keep doing what you're doing, because what you're doing, it may seem small now, but trust me, 5 years from now, it's gonna be somebody gonna tap you on the shoulder, be like, "Yo, I was listening to your show, man," and he gonna be that dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you helped me with this and you helped me with that. So listen, keep pushing and keep doing what you're doing, because you're definitely impacting the industry. Even the way you lay your show out, guys. I don't know if y'all seen it, but look at this layout with the Stay On Beat Live, and it's clean cut, man. I'm loving this presentation right here, man.
Thank you, man. BB, I truly appreciate you again, man. Have a wonderful night. Thank you again. God bless you, and continue to keep changing everybody else's lives, man. I would love to link up one day, bro. We'll link up again. God bless you, man. I appreciate you. Round of applause to the legendary, the one, the only Abebe Lewis. If you can, let people know where they can follow you, if they want to link up, if they want like a consultation, because there are a lot of people here, man. They may need your assistance, your guidance as well. So if you want, feel free to let the people know where they could reach out to you.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram at Abebe Lewis, and the same thing on TikTok. I do free 15-minute consultations to see what you got going on, music wise. I do merch for businesses, everything. I just like to touch the people, and it keeps me abreast, because I learn every time I get a call too, because somebody's always doing something new, somebody's doing something innovative, somebody got an app idea to show me, they got a new thing they built for the studio, a compressor, this or that. And the more I make myself accessible, the more things I can see, I can touch, and I'm not in that box. You know what I'm saying? So at Abebe Lewis everywhere on Instagram, at Abebe Lewis on Twitter, at Abebe Lewis on TikTok, man. Absolutely. Hugo, thank you so much. Shout out to my boy Hugo. I know he tuned in.
Absolutely, man. Hugo, man, nothing but love to you, man, and nothing but love to you, Abebe Lewis, man. Make sure you guys go follow him again. Nothing but blessings to you, my good sir, bro. Thank you so much for, again, tuning in tonight and also sharing that knowledge, man. That means a lot, bro. It really does, man.
Definitely, my brother. Peace.
All right, God bless, man. Crazy. Dope interview right there, man. Dope, dope, dope.